Okay, so let's start our class. Now, so far we have discussed front end versus back end. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so far we have discussed front end and back end. Now we'll discuss HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay. Now, the first element from front end is HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and this is the main part of the front end web application. It is used to create and structure web page. Now, HTML is a building block of every page. HTML is a markup language, right? That is used to make and organize web pages. And it includes links and formatting to structure the content. Now, hypertext markup language (HTML) means a language for making a web pages. Hypertext refers to the text that links to other pages, and markup means using special tags to structure and format the content. Is that clear? So this is what HTML means. We have the HTML. This is the building block of every website. And hypertext markup language simply means a language for making web page. Hypertext refers to text that links other page, and markup means using special tag to structure the content. Now, this is a HTML code. So this is what HTML code will look like. So doc type, we are defining a document type, that is HTML. In internet we have different types of document like HTML, XML, right? So we have to define a document so that our browser can understand how to run this type of document. So here we are defining a document, that is HTML. Here we have start our HTML, and inside this HTML we have our different codes. So this is parent, right? This tag is called parent, and here we have child. So head is child, title is child, body is child. So this is parent, and inside the parent we have all other tags. So this is called tags. This is also called tags. So here we have open tags, and here we have. So this is a basic structure of HTML. Now, if we run this code, we'll receive this page. If we run this code, we'll receive this page. Now, one thing to note here is some codes, this type of codes like the HTML body, this will not visible to main page, okay? And this is how it looks like. So here we have the page title that we have defined here using the title tag. Here we have heading and paragraph, that is here. Now, so element are organized in tree structure similar to X. In HTML, these elements are designed or structured in tree structure. Elements are structured in tree structure. Okay, so tree structure. So in tree we have branch, right? So here the first one we have this, then we have branches. So this is HTML document, we have branches. So this is what a tree structure called. Each element have their own element inside it, like this. So this is a head element or head tag. Inside this we have different tags also. Now again we have different documents in internet. The first one is HTML, the second one is XML. Now what is the difference between XML and HTML? Garf, can you tell me what is the difference in HTML and XML? Yes. So XML, in XML we can create our own tags. I can give any name to my tag and I can use that. In HTML, we have set of predefined tags that we have to use it. That's the main difference. Now, one important thing you have to understand is URL encoding. Now, do you know what is a URL encoding? Did you know? So this is a very important that we have. So this is a very important concept, HTML. So this is very important topic in HTML and it is also called percent encoding, URL encoding or percent encoding. Now let's understand. For browser to display a page content correctly, it needs to know the character set in, right? By default, we are using UTF as a character. So let's say I am building a web application. This is my web application, right? I I used Japanese language in my website. Got it? I use Japanese language in my website. And let's say in my web application or in my website, I have symbols like this. Let's say that this is a Japanese symbol. Now, and here we have the browser. Let's take this as a browser. Let's take a user. Okay, let's take a user. Let's take a browser. Let's consider this as a browser. Now, I use Chinese language here. Now, how do my browser understand this language? And how my browser shows this to me? Any idea? Garv, any idea? Okay. So, Now here, in order to in order to like print this type of special characters in our browser, we have to provide character set in our HTML code, right? By default, we are using UTF as a character set. If we use UTF as a character set, then our browser simply understand, okay, this is the UTF character sets, and in UTF we have the chart of our characters, and browser understand that this means what, this means what, this means what, and that is how it shows our character to the user. Got it? If you go in any website, let's say Amazon, and if you check the page source, you'll see here the character sets, that is UTF-8. So we can simply check UTF character sets, character list. If we use UTF character list, we can simply check these things. So here we have the character, right? Like for arrow, we use this, right? If we are using arrow, browser think that okay, is in the UTF, then let's use this number to represent arrow. Okay, so this is what the UTF character set is. We have the UTF character. Yeah, for null, it use this. So yeah, it represents these words with numbers. You have. So this is the important thing to have in our HTML. Got it? Is that clear? Hmm. Now you have to understand character sets encoding like UTF-8 is different from URL encoding, because URL encoding is specifically deals with encoding characters in URLs, right? URL encoding directly deals the character that is encoded in URLs. We have to understand UTF-8 is a different thing, character encoding is a different thing. Now let's understand what is URL encoding. I hope UTF-8 is clear, right? Now let's understand the URL encoding. Now in HTML, URL encoding or percent encoding ensures that a URL can handle special characters properly. So in order to send some characters in URL, we have to encode them, right? We have to encode them. Let's say I have this thing. A, I have wrong with give me some time, huh? Now I have to URL in is different from UTF character. Whenever we are sending URL, right? In the URL, let's say that we this type ID 8 space 1 underscore 3. If we are sending this type of characters in URL, then we have to encode this thing. Why? Because URL or because the computer don't understand this type of thing. And that is the reason we have put this. Now, URL are limited to ASCII encode. Whatever things we have that is not in ASCII, we have to encode it. So, do you know what is ASCII or what is ASCII? Okay, so ASCII simply stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So is a standard that assigns number to represent text characters, including letters, numbers, punctuation, and control characters. URL use ASCII encoding because it's a universal standard to know by all computers, and this encoding help URL to stay reliable and transmit correctly across various systems. Characters are not in ASCII set, such as symbols or non-English letters, are encoded to prevent issue with URL structure. So ASCII is a chart, right? ASCII provides, so ASCII is a number set, right? So we have different numbers. So this is ASCII. So we have different. So we have. Let me copy it. This is the ASCII table. Now here we have numbers, right? 0, 0, null. If you want to, if you want, if you want to print, if you want to print null, you have to use 0 in ASCII, right? Similarly, if you want to print this character space, then you have to use 20. If you want to print exclamation mark, you have to use 21. This is the encoded form. This is the encoded form that we have in ASCII. Now, if you don't have characters in, then you have to obviously encode them all. So here, characters not in the ASCII set, such as special symbols or non-English letters, are encoded to prevent issue with the URL structure or browsing error. That is why we are using it. Simply, here you have, this is a space, right? Do we have space in it? We have space here. Now, to print the symbol or to print the space, we use percent then 20. To exclamation mark, we have this. Same for at the rate. So here we have the URL. So here we have the URL. So before encoding, this is how it looks like. http://example.com/hello world at 2020. But if we send this thing, then browser or other machines, other computers, they don't understand this. So we have to encode the special characters here. And to encode the special characters, we have to use the ASCII number set, because ASCII is accepted by all the computers, right? So if we encode this thing, this is how this would look like. Hello, here we have space, %20, here we have world, here we have at the rate. So at the rate is simply encoded as %4, %40, sorry. And then we have 20. Got it? This is why we need ASCII, and this is what URL encoding or percent encoding is. Got it? Any doubt, any question here? Good. Perfect. Yeah, we can. So here we have some characters, and here we have encoded values. Okay, we have to use that. Now here, one thing to note, did you see the head characters? The head. Now Whatever we have in head, that is not visible in our web application. That is why most of the developers use head to have this type of code, UTF, right? And here we have now whatever we have in head is not for us, it is for browsers. So got it? So that is the metadata kind of thing. Now, head element uh, of any HTML page usually contain information that are not directly displayed on the page, and it is used as a metadata and link external resources. All page elements are located under body. Whatever we have inside a body, that is visible in page. Other important elements are located in head, right? So this is what we have in head. We have the character sets, we have the name, we have the view, and we have this thing. Now, these elements help define how the page is displayed and interact by the browser. Each part of web, each part of a web is part of the DOM. The W3C says that DOM is a way for programmers to work with web pages. It lets them easily read, change, and update the content and the style of a web page. Now, let's understand whatever we have in head, it is not for us, right? It is for the browser, it is used as a metadata. Now, we have W3C, that is World Wide Web. This is one thing. So it basically says that the DOM is a way for programmers to make any changes or update a website to have a look on it. Got it? So is this clear? Did you know what is DOM? Okay, so okay, so uh, Garv, if you have any query, now you can directly ask me. Huh? So here we have the DOM, that is document object model. Now let's understand first what is DOM. The DOM is a way for programmer to work with web pages. It lets them easily read, change, and update the content and style of a web page. Let's say this is my website, right? This is my website. I want to change the search bar. Here we have the search bar, right? I want to change the search bar. Now, for me, it is not possible to directly change the search bar in my main code, okay? Because I don't know now if I change the search bar, how it looks like, right? So what I do is I simply click on inspect, right? I simply go in console, and here I can use DOM, that is document object model, to manage my page and to change my page. If you click in every page, you'll see their elements, right? If you click on inspect, did you see the did you see any? Here we have the ID, right? So using this ID, we can simply change the style of our web page, and if we like it, then we can implement this in our real code. Okay, so this is how developer use this thing to check any changes when they want to change their website, right? And this is a standard. Now, DOM standard is split it into three parts. So we have three types of DOM, or DOM is split it into three parts. First one is core DOM, that works for all document type, defines how document are structured and accessed. The second one is XML DOM, and the third one is HTML DOM, right? Specifically for HTML documents, define how HTML elements are accessed, modified, and changed in web pages. So here, can you tell me what DOM we are using? If I want to change this, then what DOM we are using, or what DOM I have to use? So we are hmm, anything, that is what we have in web. Mhm. So for what type of DOM we have to use? We have three. No, not photo, but we are in HTML, right? No, it will work on every document, right? But since we are in HTML, so we can simply use the HTML DOM. Okay, that is specifically for HTML. Now, understanding the HTML structure help us to see where each element is on a page. This means that we can simply find elements like document.head or document.query selector one easily within a web page. By understanding this structure, we can inspect element, identify issue, and exploit vulnerability as well. Got it? Now, understanding the HTML DOM structure give us the ability to navigate and manipulate web pages effectively, whether for debugging, for security, or for exploiting vulnerability. Now, let's try to find and manipulate elements, right? So here we have the simple example of HTML page. Now to find the element, we can simply write down this tag or this code. Where's my browser? I just go in my browser, I simply paste it, right? If I hit enter, I see that I don't have heading, right? I don't have heading with the name of main heading. So I have to search. I have to search for heading. Let's search. Let's search by here. Inspect. If I click inspect, what is the ID? Glow, right? Yeah, this thing. Glow line 2. Just copy the ID. Just go in console and just get the ID with. This is the ID, right? If I do this, I'll see there is a warning. So if I simply use this code to find this element, right? And here is the element. Now I can use this code, or I can use this element to change my web pages, and I can simply check how the web page will look like if I change it. So this finds the element with ID. This finds all paragraph that we have, finds element with class content, right? Now if you want to manipulate this, then you have to use this main heading dot text contain text. Now if you want to like change the color, you can use this main heading dot style color equals to blue. So here we have defined the color. So let's try to use this. So what is our ID? That is the glow line, right? The glow line. It is the ID. Okay. You have to use this, huh? Is the ID go? Now the reference is not defined, so this is not work. Why? Because this is just an ID of this thing, the colored option. We'll try this thing. Yeah, but if we want to, first we have to check the headings, right? Then we can simply use this thing to change the heading. Now here, what I did is I simply inspect this thing, right? So this is not a heading. This is a ID. So the ID is this, right? So this is a span. This is not a heading. Here we have the text, right? If I inspect this, then here we have the, okay, so here we have the link, right? Let's select some text. So here we only, let's, yeah, text. If I simply inspect, hopefully, where is the text? Then it is in plain. Okay. So we have h1 div. Use this. We can similarly use uh, this tag to change the color. We can simply use content div, and this adds paragraph to content. This is how it works. So basically, whatever we have here, we can simply manipulate this thing using this. And don't worry, we have DOM in depth whenever we are talking, whenever we go with our module 7, that is cross-site scripting. Okay, so we have this thing. For now, what you can do is you can try this thing in Tesla. So this is a plain website, right? If I inspect energy, I see that is the energy. Yeah. So here is the energy, and it has class this. We have to first find the class, then we can really change the name of this. So we can simply find this. We can simply change paragraph. This is the query select. Here how we make. So this only change the contents of h1. This only change the color of h1. This works only with paragraph. So this is what we have in HTML. Got any doubt? Is this clear? So what we have in HTML, is this clear, right? And yeah, Gav, one thing, please make notes, huh? Okay. So try to go try to go through this. Please make note. So let's wrap our class here, okay? Yeah. Thank you, Gav.